These vegan carrot cake cupcakes are tender, full of flavor, and totally crave-worthy. And they go perfectly with my vegan cream cheese frosting. Check out last week's video for that recipe. Now, let's get started on the cupcakes. If you want to follow along with the recipe on my website, make sure you check the description below for the link. So the first thing I'm going to do is preheat my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I will get 2 cupcake trays and put paper liners in them. Next, I'm going to sift 280 grams of flour, or about 2 cups, into a medium mixing bowl. Then I'll add 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And I will just mix all that up so it's nice and even. Now I'm mixing my wet ingredients, starting with 200 grams or 1 cup of sugar. Then I've got 3/4 of a cup of sunflower oil, 6 tablespoons of applesauce, 3 tablespoons of aquafaba, 4 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And I will mix that up a little bit. Next, I'll add my dry ingredients to the wet ingredients and mix that all up. You want to get everything well incorporated, but you don't want to overmix the batter. If there are some lumps, that's perfect. Now I'm moving on to my add-ins, and I'm going to start by preparing my pineapple. This is 1/2 cup of chopped pineapple, and I'm just going to use my fingertips to smash the pieces and squeeze out some of the juice. The pineapple adds some flavor, but it also really helps to create a tender texture in the cupcakes. Make sure that you're only using the softest parts of the pineapple without any core pieces. If you feel anything that's too stiff when you're pressing the pineapple, you can just pull that piece out. Finally, I am going to fold in my add-ins, starting with 300 grams of peeled and grated carrots, which is about 2 3/8 cups. Then I will add 3/4 of a cup of chopped walnuts, 3/4 of a cup of raisins, 3/4 of a cup of coconut pieces, and my smashed pineapple along with the juices. And I'm going to gently fold all this in. And I am realizing that a fork is definitely not going to cut it here, so I am switching over to my spatula. By the way, I do know that there are people who either don't like raisins or maybe are allergic to walnuts or whatever the case may be. If 1 or 2 of these add-ins don't work for you for any reason, you can just leave that ingredient out, or you could add more of another add-in to replace it and it will still work fine. And again here, we just want to make sure that we're not over mixing. We just want to fold enough to get everything nicely distributed throughout. So my batter is ready, and I'm going to fill my cupcake pan now. I am just using a large spoon to put the batter in the liners. And because there's so much stuff in this batter, I'm going to let the first spoonful settle a bit before I come back to add more batter. You want to leave maybe a 1/4 inch of space between the top of the batter and the top of the liner. All the add-ins are going to keep the batter from rising too much, so you want to almost fill the cupcake liners to the top. If you get any batter on the pan, try to clean it up before you put it in the oven, otherwise it will burn and it will be hard to clean up later. And these are just going to bake for 30 to 33 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. And I will let these cool in the pan for a little bit until they're cool enough to handle. Then I will pull the cupcakes out of the pan and let them cool on the wire rack completely. After they're fully cooled, you can frost them with some of my vegan cream cheese frosting. That recipe is in the last video, so I will leave a link below to that if you want to check it out. These cupcakes turned out so delicious and tender. Give them a try and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.